Cybersecurity is a dynamic and ever-changing field. Every day, new cybersecurity threats and attack methods emerge and threaten to sneak past existing defense measures taken by administrators. Luckily, MITRE ATT&CK has recorded, evaluated, and categorized cybersecurity threats across a number of different platforms. MITRE ATT&CK provides detailed explanations of the what, why, and how for many different attack vectors a malicious actor may utilize. Organizations can then use this information to prevent attacks and mitigate their impact when they do happen. This is Zach. Let's explore the MITRE ATT&CK matrices. The MITRE ATT&CK matrices can be found by navigating to attack.mitre.org and clicking Matrices at the top. Enterprise contains the matrices for the major computer operating systems as well as other services like network and storage solutions. Mobile contains the matrices for Android and iOS devices. Let's begin with the Enterprise matrix. Each column of the matrix is headed by a tactic. This is the why of a cybersecurity attack, or the ultimate goal of the malicious actor. Below each tactic are lists of techniques, or the how of a cybersecurity attack. These detail the action that an adversary may take to achieve the tactical goal above. For example, we see that an adversary might use phishing as a technique to achieve the tactical goal of initial access to a secure environment or system. In the credential access column, we can see that input capture is one possible technique that an adversary might use to intercept and gain access to secure credentials. What if there are several different types of the same technique? Click Show Subtechniques at the top. This expands all subtechniques, or techniques that offer a more specific or lower-level description of malicious behavior. If we look at the phishing technique we saw previously, that has now expanded to describe different types of phishing attacks: spear phishing attachment, link, via service, and voice. This enterprise matrix contains all of the available platforms listed on the left. We can narrow this down to specifically macOS with the link in the sidebar. If we expand the mobile heading in the sidebar and select iOS, we are taken to the iOS matrix. This is similar to the macOS matrix. Tactics at the head of each column, with the techniques and subtechniques below. Techniques may share names across matrices of different platforms. For example, phishing is contained in both the macOS and iOS matrices, but the details of each technique are specific to that operating system. Let's return to the macOS matrix and select the phishing technique under Initial Access. Each techniques page contains a description, real-world procedure examples where this technique was used, possible mitigation or detection methods, and references for all of the above. At the top, we can see a Subtechniques menu that we can expand to show the 4 subtechniques we saw previously. To the right, we have an overview of information about this technique, including its ID within the Enterprise Matrix, T1566. Each subtechnique also has its own ID listed here as well, T1566.001, 002, and so on. Finally, we can see additional record information about this technique, like the parent tactic, any applicable platforms or matrices where this technique is used, as well as creation and versioning information from MITRE. So now that we have this wealth of information about different cybersecurity attack techniques, what do we do with it? As security admins, we can start by using the knowledge in these matrices to create detection analytics, allowing us to quickly identify and mitigate any of these attacks if they were to occur in our environment. Let's look at an example from Jamf Protect. In the macOS Security Portal, select Analytics in the sidebar, and then click the All Analytics tab. As noted at the top of the page, analytics in Jamf Protect are used to detect suspicious behavior or activity on enrolled devices. Expand the list of analytics with the arrow at the top left. Here we can see the name of each analytic, as well as its description, severity rating, and tags for organization. At a glance, several of these are tagged with MITRE ATT&CK and even display the technique ID just as we saw in the MITRE attack matrix. We recall from the matrix that the ID for phishing is T1566, so let's enter that in the search field at the top of this list. This brings up two analytics that are tied to this technique: suspicious office activity and suspicious office file creation. Each of these is tagged with a subtechnique from phishing, T1566.001. If we return to the macOS matrix and select phishing, we can see in the subtechniques menu, T1566.001 is the ID for a spear phishing attachment subtechnique. Selecting the subtechnique brings up its page with its own description, procedure examples, and mitigation and detection methods. We'll explore analytics and the macOS security portal in more depth later in this course. For now, know that these techniques and tactics form the basis for detection of real-world threats. That's all for this video on the MITRE attack matrices. Without detailed information and records of existing cybersecurity attacks, it would be nearly impossible to successfully defend an environment from outside threats. Using the MITRE attack matrices and the tactics, techniques, and procedures contained within, administrators can arm themselves with the knowledge and detection tools needed to secure their devices. Thanks for watching.